Alright guys, so what we're going to talk about today is punkwood. If you guys watch my channel or spend a lot of time on Travis's channel, you might hear me at times stress the importance of punkwood. And if you look here, this is why I love punkwood. Look at this downed tree, okay? This thing is absolutely enormous. In fact, I don't even know where it came from because we don't get trees this big around. You know what I mean? Look at this. It's absolutely enormous. Something like this will last you years and years and years and years. So basically, that's all punkwood, okay? It's a little damp up here, but when you go down to the bottom, underneath it, then you can start pulling off chunks of that nice, fluffy, feathery stuff. And today we're going to char this stuff in a fire instead of a tin, so that way you can see exactly how it's done. So let's go back to the fire pit and we'll show exactly how we do that. Alright, so now that we've gathered up a good amount of punkwood, we've got a nice coal bed going on here. On the outside perimeter of our fire, it's damp, okay? The ground's damp. We don't want to use that, because what we want to do is this fire has been burning for several hours. So directly underneath these coals, that top layer is dry. So what we're going to do is we're going to scoot these coals over and expose the ground. And we're going to scrape down into the earth a little bit. And when I say scrape, that's literally what I mean. I don't necessarily mean dig. Okay, you want to be able to scrape away. When you scrape, it's dry. The moment you start digging, you're going to get damp. Okay, so just scrape. Now all we're going to do is we're going to take some of this punkwood, break it down just a little smaller. And then we're simply going to cover it up. And believe it or not, you can see that piece right there that has an ember that's kind of lit. If we was to actually smother that piece out right now, it would actually still work as a charred tinder. Roll that back up. The trick is being able to find it after you do this. Sometimes you can't find all of it, find a piece here and there, but we'll see. Should work out just fine for us. Let that sit for a while. I mean, you can go ahead and Stoke your fire back up a little bit at this point if you want. Sit back, relax a little bit. Let it burn down. Then we'll uncover it and see if we can find our punkwood. If not, we'll repeat that process and go a little bit deeper.
Got a pretty good fire going there, huh?
Yeah, and you know, another thing that you can do is you can actually make a little skewer.
That's a good looking knife you got there.
Like that? This one might be a little too flaky to do this. Yeah, it's going to be a little too flaky.
There's another one over there. Was that one?
There we go.
Oh, you got it.
You can skewer that just a little bit. Just barely get it. See how quickly that takes embers? And now if you was to put that into a tin,
Can you show it just a little bit closer? Sorry. Yeah.
If you put that into a tin and smolder that out and you hit that with a flint and steel, it will still take really, really easy. You don't have to char punkwood all the way through in order to get it to work. In fact, if we have a little bit of time, we might do that also, where I'll skewer some just like this and we'll smother it out, and then we'll see if we can get it to take an ember with a flint and steel also. I think I brought my flint and steel, so we'll see.
I did if you hadn't.
Okay.
So you just uncovering it now?
Yeah, just uncovering it. And should have let it go a little bit longer. And I think I'm going to go a little bit deeper because, I mean, the moment that it's hitting that oxygen, it's just going into an ember. So I think I'm going to dig down just a little bit more. I mean, if I had something to put that stuff in right now, then it's not an issue. I mean, you're obviously going to have some sort of a tin, you know, or something to put your char in anyway. Otherwise, it's going to be pretty much useless to you, you know, because you're not going to really have anything to store it in. It's just going to crumple up. But
you know, I wonder if you can smother out with leather, or smother it out with leather.
Yeah, I'm sure you probably could. Leather stinks real bad, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like burning a tick off.
In essence, I mean, it's burning flesh, so. Alright, let's do that again. We'll let it go for a little bit longer this time. Let it burn out a little bit more. Alright, stoke it back up and we'll let it go again, and we'll let it burn longer this time. Okay, so we got a tin out. Skewered a little bit of that. Starts to burn. It's not that big of a deal. Transfer it in. Smolder it out. Now, I know somebody's going to be wondering, well, you've got a tin, why don't you just char it in the tin? Well, the thing is, you know, if you were to do this long term, do you really want to take that tin and throw it in the fire and then pull it out and put it in, pull it out? How long do you honestly think that tin is going to last, being the fact that it's tin? It's not going to last very long. So you want to try to char this stuff outside of your tin and then smolder it in your tin. At least that's my thinking behind it. So we'll let that smolder out a little bit, and I'm also going to do a few more pieces, and then we'll uncover this and we'll see what we got. Alright, so this is burned down pretty good. Let's go ahead and slide everything off. Get these coals out of the way the best I can before I go digging in there. Now when I start digging in there, I mean, it's a lot of it's going to catch an ember, and I can't help that, but it's really not that big of a deal. Let that smolder for a second before I dig out another one. Basically, I'm going to repeat this process until I feel that I've gotten a good majority of those, and let them smolder out, and then we'll go from there. Sometimes if you catch them fast enough, you can get it before an ember gets on there. Other times, not so much. Part that sucks is just being patient.
Yeah.
Let that smolder out before you go digging more out. Otherwise, all that's just going to catch oxygen and catch an ember again.
Patience is a virtue.
You know, I didn't have patience at all until I had that kid. They kind of make you have patience, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they're a teaching tool. The kids do. They teach you so much.
Oh, they do.
I think they even teach you to actually conditionally love.
Oh, absolutely. You don't even know what love is until you have a kid. You think you do, but you don't.
Mm-hmm.
I mean...
You'll give your life for your kid.
You'll give your life for your kid just to know that they're going to breathe for 5 minutes longer.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You will feed yourself to a school of sharks in a heartbeat. Should have made some fancy tongs.
We should do that again. I brought my crook knife. I was thinking about carving a spoon.
Cool.
Maybe.
Oh, you did bring it?
Yeah, I brought it.
Cool.
I should have got one with a single blade, or single-sided, but I bought the double-sided. Seems kind of dangerous because you're so tended to, or you want to just push with your thumb, you know, but you just gotta know not to. And just kind of pull back towards you.
I would push with my thumb.
Yeah, I wanted to do it.
You know what I think the biggest thing is when it comes to char cloth and punkwood? I think people want that instant gratification at times, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And char cloth, most of the time, is a little bit easier. I mean, let's be honest. And I think that's most of it. I think people want that instant gratification, that they didn't have to really work at it too much. I don't know, I could be wrong. That's about all the big pieces. Alright, so it's all smothered out now, and you can see that there's not a whole lot in here. I would actually want to repeat that process until I get this thing nice and full. I mean, the more surface area you create in here, the better your chances are going to be that you land an ember, or excuse me, a spark in a good spot. Right now, the chances are a little lower just because of the sheer amount of punkwood that we have in there. But, I mean, we're going to go ahead and give it a try anyway.
I seen one catch.
Man, yeah. Let's see if I can turn this headlamp out right there. And I don't know if you can see that. See that okay?
It's kind of coming in. Maybe we could put it up a little bit
Blow on
closer.
it.
Oh yeah, definitely can see that.
Now, I'm just going to let this sit here for a second, and I'm just going to grab some damp leaves off the ground, and we'll see what we can do just with some damp leaves. The good thing about punkwood also is it burns for a lot longer, and it burns a lot hotter. So even when you have damp materials, a lot of times you can actually get it to take still really, really well. Now, keep in mind that as this ember base grows, this tin is going to get hot, okay? So you definitely want to keep that in mind.
That was so fast.
And just like that, you're good to go. Now, obviously, smother it out, and that is still going to take an ember several more times. And each time that you do that, grab, okay, for example, here's another piece of punkwood, okay? So as this thing, let's see if that ember's still there. Okay, it's still there. We'll throw this other piece of punkwood in here. It has not been charred, okay? Let me turn this light back on. This piece of punkwood has not been charred. We're going to put it in there and let that smolder for just a second. And now, each fire that we make with this, we will actually char that piece naturally. So as we make more fires, now that one's good and charred. We smolder it out, don't burn ourselves. Flip it over and you're good to go. So, hope you guys liked it. But that is how you char punkwood without using a tin, as far as charring it goes. But obviously you still want a tin or something along those lines to maintain your coal base. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it.
That's very well done. You did a very good job.